Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David. And if you're just tuning in, you miss Al talking about having the right assets in your portfolio. We classify things as two things. You have your income bucket and your wealth bucket. So having the right assets in your income bucket, but also in your wealth bucket to make better investing decisions to hopefully have your retirement and your income years set for opportunity or have the potential to reach the objectives that you do have. If you happen to miss 2 tickets for the investing class, call 952-814-4410. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. You're going to receive a link back. You got to click the link, pick a date for the free investing class. You're going to receive the financial quick start kit when you attend. Al, you want to get into this third topic here about retirement, and there's certain as people are going through their lives, they have their accumulation years and their distribution years. And there's decisions that they're making, preparing themselves for retirement. Hopefully, they're making decisions. We talk to a lot of people, and sometimes people don't make any decisions until it's retirement time. But there are a lot of decisions people can make prior to then. And that's really impacting the quality of their retirement, whether it's good quality or it's a bad quality. So what are some of those decisions that people have to make, and how can people make the right decisions to have a more, have a quality retirement life?
Right. Well, one of the things I talked about in that last segment was how important it is to learn how to generate income. You're going to use that in your accumulation phase, but also once you retire, because then your salary is gone, the income from your job is gone, and the important thing would be not to look at whatever you have in your retirement accounts as something you just keep drawing down from without growing it or being able to generate income off of it. What is probably more important than the amount of money you have in your retirement account is how much you can generate off of it, how much income you can generate off of it, so you're not dwindling that amount of money down by just drawing out of it to survive, to pay the bills that your job income was covering before.
So just to clarify, if somebody has an IRA, there are opportunities to use that IRA money to have the potential to generate income during retirement.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And what you're probably going to have to do is to look at maybe self-directing. It's the money you have in your retirement accounts for most people is in a 401k or 403b. It's something that is an employer-sponsored plan. And think about this. If we have a retirement crisis in this country, yet the go-to retirement since the 80s for most people has been that employer-sponsored retirement plan. If that's the case, and we have so many people that are struggling in retirement, it means that those 401ks haven't done what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they never were intended to be the primary source of retirement income.
It was really a tax shelter for those high income
for the wealthier
earners
people,
back when it
exactly.
started in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, we often talk about a three-legged stool. This is how it used to be. People had a pension that they could rely on. Social Security added a little more to what you had, and then you had some retirement savings. Well, pensions for most people are gone now. What can you control? Can you control Social Security?
No.
No. And is Social Security going to be there in the same shape, condition as it is now?
Probably
not, because by the year 2034 or 35, we're going to be in deep trouble with Social Security. So maybe benefits will be cut, maybe taxes will be increased, and benefits cut.
That's something people don't think about. They say, "Oh, I'll have enough Social Security, or I'll get it." But the problem is if they don't have enough in there, they are going to raise taxes. That's why it's a problem for everyone.
It is, right. Everybody will be impacted, and especially when you retire, though, if you're counting on benefits that may be cut or not there, that can have an impact on what you have. The only thing you can control is your retirement savings. If it's in a 401k, there's a lot of disadvantages there. The main advantage is that it's forcing you to save something,
Yep.
and you probably have some kind of a match by your employer. That's free money. That's great. But you're putting that money into something that has very high fees that can reduce the overall results that you could have if you work 30, 40 years. It could take 40, 50, 60, maybe 70% of what you could have away from you that you never see. It's just kind of done over the course of those years. You never see a separate bill for it, but you've got those fees. The choices you have are typically not the best choices. They're mediocre, and they will only benefit you. They will only give you the opportunity to benefit if the market goes up. You're missing out on downturns, sideways moves. Basically, you're looking at accepting 3 to 5% returns
Hmm.
with the potential for 50 to 60 or 70% downturns. That's not a good risk reward
It's a
ratio.
little bit skewed, or we'll say backwards there. But that's why, we have a lot of conversations with people that come into the academy, and they're talking about, hey, I know I'm going to retire at one point and my job will stop. So I want to have the opportunity to have income potential during retirement. And it's not what you have, it's how much you can generate
Right.
off of it, and being able to do that, especially with a self-directed IRA. Because if you think of it this way too, when people go into retirement, they may get a part-time job. Now, who wants to have a part-time job when they're retired? So yes, you want to stay active, but stay active doing the things that you want to do and that you
Right.
like to do, family, all that stuff. So having the opportunity for income potential during that time, you have to learn it and develop the skills and have the right tools before that. Al gets into these tools and techniques in these investing classes right here on Bloomington. So if you want to learn more about how to potentially generate income off of what you have, come to one of these classes. Callers 1 through 10, one for you and a friend. 952-814-4410, 952-814-4410. You can also text the word invest for 2 tickets for this class. You're going to receive a link back. You got to click the link and pick a date for the class. You'll receive the financial quick start kit when you attend as well. So Al, we talked a little bit about self-directed IRAs, having the opportunity or the potential to generate income off of what you already have. Well, what if somebody has a 401k right now and they want to make better decisions in there, but they're not sure of what they have access to? So
Right.
how can you have the opportunity to manage or maybe dynamically manage your 401k through your employer?
Right, and we do cover that. Dynamic 401k management is something that we really concentrate on for people that are still working, that have those 401ks or 403bs. There is a way you can trade within them. You use basically that same strategy that you're using if you have a separate investment account, or if you're self-directing an IRA, for example, that you can do some trading within your 401ks, 403bs, but you want to know how to do it properly. Number one thing is to know what you have in those accounts. Most people do not know what they have. They might have looked at the list of things at one time when it was first set up. They put some money into it, and then they basically kind of forget about it. That is not a set and forget kind of cruise control type of investment, but most people treat it that way. So there are things you can do within those accounts. Maybe you have some things that have lower fees. There are going to always be some components of what you have access to that will be outperforming. Reading a price chart, because there is a price chart for everything you have in your 401k or 403b. Uh, when you retire, you don't have to leave the money in the 401k. Unfortunately, a lot of people just leave their money where it is. And maybe if you change employers, you have a 401k with an old employer. We see a lot of our students that have old 401ks where the money is you're still paying high fees. There's no match now when you're gone or when you retire. That money can be rolled into a self-directed IRA without a penalty, without any tax consequence. Now you have many more choices. You can use the leverage assets we talked about. You have opportunities in down markets, sideways markets. And the number one thing that you want to make sure that you really excel at in retirement is protecting what you have. You never want to go through a big loss. We show you how to lose. And that may sound funny, but we show you how to make sure that if you're wrong, any loss you have, and everybody is going to be wrong at some point in time. But if you keep that small, what can a small loss never become, Josh?
A big loss.
A big loss. And that's what you need to eliminate. So these are things that we talk about in these classes. And you might have some questions. We can answer those questions and maybe give you some advice on how to make sure your retirement is more secure and is more golden than not.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of a story when I was a kid. I lived near a football field as a kid, and there was always the older kids always there playing football, and I always wanted to go play. And I said, "Oh, they're never going to let me play." And you know, one thing my dad always told me, he said, "You will never know unless you ask."
Right.
And that's the same thing with 401ks. You never know what you have access to or what you can do in your 401k unless you ask. So if you want to make smarter decisions in your 401k, that's the first thing you got to do is just ask what you might be able to do, how to have the benefit or the opportunity to generate income in retirement or protect what you have. So callers 1 through 10, if you want to learn more about that, you got to call in right now for 2 tickets for this free investing class right in here in Bloomington. 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. You can receive a link back in a text. Click the link, pick a date for the class. You can receive the Financial Quick Start Kit when you attend. That'll help you get started right away. Al, take us home to the final stretch.
Well, let's talk about why so many people are reluctant to take the next step to control their own assets.
There's a lot of people that are getting into the market right now at record pace, but there still is people not doing that and taking advantage of these great opportunities in the stock market. We'll talk about that coming up next. We'll be right back.